Hi, welcome to your full moon for July 2024 update. This is Vedic Astrology, full moon in Capricorn, super grounded, committed, practical, diligent sign of Capricorn. This is Guru Purnima. This is a very grounded, victorious kind of a placement, and I will break down all of this energy for you so you can use it. This is an incredible bridge between the spiritual and the material world, which we are called to live in fully, have a foot in both. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Prema, and welcome to Chart Your Path. I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome back, subscribers. Thank you for all of you who are going to subscribe today. I want to also invite you, if you don't know what your Vedic astrology ascendant or moon sign is, I have a free chart calculator. Link is down below, as well as the link for the Sacred Wealth Code quiz and lots of other goodies for you there. The full moon in Capricorn is in Uttara Ashada on July 21st. It is also Guru Purnima. It's at 5 degrees of Capricorn, which is grounded, committed, and diligent in so many ways. This is where the full moon is in Vedic astrology. There can be a push-pull energy here because we've got Capricorn and then we've got Cancer. So we've got the sun that's in Cancer currently. Venus is there as well. And we have the moon full in Capricorn on the full moon. And Capricorn being grounded, the emotional energy of Cancer, can be a bit of a push-pull in the feeling there. So it really asks us in a big way to really be committed to what's most important to us, to be able to confront our fears and really establish good emotional boundaries. Remember, boundaries are not walls to keep other people out or other things out. Boundaries really are rule sets that we set up for ourselves. And because we live by those rules, we're committed to those rules, then we are able to harness that energy instead of being in resistance or finding ourselves in victim mode in some way because somebody crossed our boundaries. It gives us an opportunity to make different choices for ourselves. So emotions are one of the big things that are the challenging thing about boundaries, whether it's our own emotions and we want to eat something we said we wouldn't, to numb ourselves out or whatever, or the emotional boundaries because somebody else is demanding or wanting something from us and we don't want to let go of that person in some way. So it gives us an opportunity here to really move through anything that's keeping us from really creating those kinds of boundaries. It's all about staying on our truthful path. Because if we are able to do this, then we can really devote ourselves to what holds most importance for our spiritual growth and for our material growth. We need to be in both of those energies. So this is the essence of the administrator, which rules Saturn. Saturn is currently in Aquarius, very well placed there, and it's retrograde. At least it's not standing still like it was, a week or so ago. For a while, it's been standing still. So we're starting to feel a little bit of movement here. And the essence of the mantra here for this archetype is I walk with a foot in both the material and the spiritual worlds. And we need to be able to walk in both worlds in order to be able to be in this dimension. We are spiritual beings living a human experience where there's lots of polarity, but we have to be able to pay our bills and to feed our kids and to go to work and stay true to what is our soul path and what's coming through intuitively for us and what is it going to take for us to grow on an energetic, on a spiritual level. And it's not easy to do both. And Capricorn really asks us, Saturn really asks us to do that and to be conscious of what are we willing to work for? What are we willing to actually put the effort, the blood, sweat, and sometimes tears into? And Capricorn also cuts through the BS. Well, Saturn just cuts through the BS of anything because Saturn is all about truth. And actually, it's very much the planet of truth or consequences, meaning that if we aren't on our truthful path, if we aren't staying true to what is our higher service, what is our soul calling, what is our purposeful path, Saturn will just trip us up to remind us that to slow down and to take a closer look at what's most important to us. Because usually we do not come to God after winning the lottery, as my mentor would say. Usually we come when we're on our knees, and Saturn tends to put us on our knees. Now, that doesn't have to happen. That's just one of the ways that Saturn works. But Saturn is really just about that truthful essence. And we're all called here to be of greater service. And Saturn helps us to really hone in on what that is, and with this placement help us to break through anything that's keeping us from doing that next thing, putting ourselves out there, maybe in our work and in the world in a more authentic way. Maybe it's starting that project or finishing that project, and that is so part of your purpose. So it's being able to focus in and commit. That's not always an easy thing to do, but it's essential if we're going to actually, take energy and bring it into form. It's just what has to happen. So Uttarashada is actually ruled by the sun, and the sun is in Cancer at 5 degrees in Pusha, and Pusha is ruled by Saturn. So we have this dynamic, and with the sun and the moon, they represent more of our authenticity, more of the truth. Saturn reminds us that we're all a work in progress, okay? Ourselves personally and everyone else's. And Venus, which is with the sun currently in Cancer, wants us to connect and see like the good in others, but sometimes too soon without really knowing the truth, because Venus just wants to connect. Venus, the great connector. So this is also Guru Purnima, which is a sacred day that happens once a year in June or July with the moon placed in Uttarashada. And Uttarashada is known as the universal star. It's the powerful placement for truth, as I've been talking about. And with Guru Purnima, it's asking us to pay respect to our gurus. And guru is meant, literally translates to one who dispels the light. And this also includes our spiritual teachers, our guides, our coaches, or whoever you are, whoever's helping you light up your path. So the moon is associated with our mind, with our emotions, and the guru energy represents our rational thinking, as well as our spiritual wisdom. So it's bringing those two elements together, and that's Guru. Like, we all stand on the shoulders of others, and we all have now or will have others that help us light the way, because we were never meant to do it alone. We were never meant to do it alone, and I would never be where I am without the great teachers and guides who have gone before me and serve me now as well. So honor them in any way that you'd like to, whether it's a thank you note, whether it's a prayer and burning a candle, whatever makes most sense to you. But appreciation goes a long way. And in fact, as the Heart Math Institute has shown us, appreciation, the energy of appreciation, if you really let yourself be in it, affects not just you, but everyone around you. And in fact, even more so, everyone around you. So it's a wonderful time for appreciation. Uttarashada is the universal star, and it has all the universal powers, and it helps us to attain the greatest of all victories, which is personal for each and every one of us, but it's definitely that internal victory. Once we get over ourselves, usually we can do whatever we are wanting or meant to do. I've been on that journey of getting over myself around being more fully expressed. That just keeps coming up for me. And so that's, you'll see more of what I have to offer here besides just the astrology here on YouTube and on my other platforms, because that is one of the things that's being really called forward from me, is just sharing more of who I am, what I'm about, and what I have to offer you as well. So we all have something to overcome, and we could sum it down to ourselves usually. So this is an incredibly powerful placement. It's represented by the elephant tusk, and Ganesha brings its blessing and really helps us to overcome obstacles. It's really representational of that. Sometimes Ganesh is what we chant in the full moon healing circles before we dive into our journey, because it's traditional to chant Ganesha's mantra before anything important, just to help clear those obstacles out of the way. Namaha. This is an aspect that has a great humanitarian concern for equality. It makes us aware of our service, what we're here to really serve with, our gifts, and how we can serve for the greater good. And when you are serving for the greater good, you are serving yourself as well, because that is a part of you that wants to evolve, that wants to come through you, and for you to experience yourself as. We have to remember our alignment to our soul path, our truth, to our divine gifts, and so that we can actually do what we've come here to do. Your Sacred Wealth Code gives you your highest value gifts. We have a lot of divine gifts, but it really helps you to understand what your highest value gifts are. Because when you use your highest value gifts, that's really positions you in your purpose, but also in your prosperity as well. We're actually meant to have both. And so if you don't have your Sacred Wealth Code already, the links are down below to get your Sacred Wealth Code. Lots of different ways that you can do that. The deities here are the Vishwadevas. They are the universal gods and goddesses that give us goodness and truth and willpower and skill and talent, fame, firmness, joy, and leadership as well. And they are called the sons of God Dharma, and really represent what we need for an unchallenged victory. And Vishwa literally means all and everything. So if we have all and everything of the resources that we need, and we were all born with all of the resources that we need, then unchallenged victory means that really we just have to do the thing, or be the thing. This star is focused on the victory of the vision that is very close. It's sharply focused with like a penetrating vision. What have you been so close to, but you're just not quite there yet? What have you wanted to start, to finish? What have you wanted to get over so that you can start or finish? This full moon is really giving you an opportunity for that. It's also connected with Saturn, connected with our throat chakras, and we have to be able to speak the truth that is on our hearts in order to, speak and act on that truth. Again, this is a place that's a placement it feels a little heavy. There's deep wisdom here, but it's Ganesh and it's Saturn and it's Capricorn. It is a little heavy. It is a little earthy and deeply spiritual. And again, it's that focus of being in both worlds. It's one thing to just meditate all day or work on your spiritual practices. It's another thing to just not be in any of that and doing the world, doing all the practicality of the material world and being really caught up in that. It's a lot to be doing both. And I know that you're here watching this, so you are on the path of both. And I just want to recognize having a foot in both worlds is not an easy task by any means. But when we're really connected to our own truth, our own inner guidance, our own soul path, and we have the resources to move past the blocks and barriers, and then we can actualize what we've come here to do. We've all come here to actualize in lots of different ways. One thing you'll want to watch out for with this full moon and this placement is perfectionism. So whatever it is that you are bringing forward, or whether it's expressing one of your divine gifts, let's not worry about being perfect about it. There is no perfection here. I know all about perfectionism. I have had to continually overcome it. I have a super strong Saturn in my chart. I even have a training in Solutionary Blueprint, which is the perfectionism training, which is actually, it's perfectionism procrastination, because perfectionism leads to procrastination, which then leads to overwhelm, and then we're procrastinating even more. So that particular cycle, and how to break that cycle. Something I'm always working with myself as well. This is good for the practicality of, this is the 10th house of the zodiac. On a collective level, Capricorn is. For you, it might be a different house, okay? But on a collective level, as I can speak in this is career. Capricorn's always good for career opportunities. This is good for organizing things, organizing the project, organizing the to-do list, and then taking action on it. This is really good for, again, what is that next project? What is the thing that you've been resisting doing that? It's just so time. On a spiritual level, this is that motivation. It's the spiritual liberation that it brings. It's the intuition that you've been sitting with. It's the soul calling that you have that wants to come out in in a physical way, whether that is painting a painting, creating a business, starting a new project, bringing some kind of collaboration together, whatever that is. So focus is the quality where all our powers are beamed in one direction, one, like hocus pocus focus, like, laser beam. And this gives us the opportunity to do this. So this full moon's a really great time for being able to deeply focus and to break through whatever is keeping you from being able to focus and bring forward the manifestation, that integrated spiritual, physical manifestation of the next thing for you. It allows us to see in the dark, brings truth in. And when the more truth you have, awareness precedes change. So we have to be able to see what it is, know the truth of what it is before we can make the change for it. This energy of Ganesh just really helps us to remove those obstacles. In the full moon healing circle, we are going to really be working with releasing any of the fears that are in the way and keeping you from taking that next step. Also really shoring up emotional boundaries so you can fully devote yourself to what holds the most importance to you on your spiritual material growth. If we are constantly getting pulled off because our emotional boundaries are leaky, then we can't focus on what is at hand. So we need to have those shored up as well. So we're not leaking energy, or we're not subject to projection from others as well. So this really creates also a gateway for healing around the 5th chakra. That's where we find Saturn in the Vedic astrology in the chakra system. In fact, that's this bowl, which I always use in the full moon healing circles, is all the singing bowls. And as I said that, my throat is getting a little bit. So obviously I'm collectively feeling the energy that is here for us to clear. And I look forward to helping to clear that, because we've got to be able to put words to speak into existence and take action on the truth of our hearts. So you'll be able to perceive more clearly the messages from your intuition, from your heart, and have the confidence to move forward. Look, if we just have the confidence in the knowing that's come through us, we can just move on that. And the greatest thing is that even if you start moving and you realize you're moving in the wrong direction, as long as you're tuning in and really aligning to your truth and really aligning to your path, the divine's going to kick your feet in the right direction. You just have to get out of the stuck, standstill place. So with Venus opposite this, it is a potent time for assessing relationships. And are they serving you? Are they not serving you? Is there a place you need to let go of? Is there a boundary you need to put up? We'll also look at that in the healing circle as well. So remember that Saturn reminds us that no one is perfect, not even ourselves, and we're all a work in progress. I invite you to join me in the Full Moon Healing Circle, and the link below is for that. If you want any of my readings or services, you'll find all the links down below. And I thank you for being here. Please leave me a comment. Tell me what's coming up for you as I'm talking about this, foot in both worlds, and what is next for you and what you want to create, what you want to get over so that you can. I'd love to hear from you. All right. So much love to you.